Rusame reader, Crow Song! And today I will be reading to you from Stars and Moonflowers in Our Garden by RainbowStar_772. That's me! Now, on to Chapter 17, Worries and Journaling Dreams. Russia walked back to his room after dinner, finding himself dwelling on what had happened with America earlier. He was worried, though he knew America had been fine when he'd left. The worry just sank further into his chest. He looked over and found himself smiling when his cat, Anathalie, ran over to him. Hopefully, America's cat, Bean, was giving him a similar comfort. Or maybe America was doing something to relax. Whatever the case may be, he hoped America was doing well or feeling better. He waited for the time to pass, watching the sun slowly set. About an hour after he had seen the moon rise, he saw America slowly walk over to the chamomile flowers below his window. He let out a sigh of relief. Thankfully, America was feeling well enough to do his nightly gardening. That made him feel better. Seeing the other out and gardening put his worries to rest. He forgot he'd left a response out until he saw America pick up the envelope. He watched as America opened the letter and started reading. America hanging out when he read the letters was always nice. America then looked at the picture of Anatoly and seemed to smile, liking him. Then he seemed to do a reread of the letter, and something caused him to fluster. Russia realized what it was, and flustered himself. He'd left in the part about him finding America attractive. He hoped that wouldn't mess up their relationship if he ever decided to meet up with America. He decided that he should give himself a deadline of some kind. If he didn't, he'd never actually get the guts to meet America in person. So maybe he could use this guessing game he'd started to set the deadline. He decided to write it down by making it the opening paragraph to his letter. He needed to use that to make sure he went through with it. After that, he got himself into some sleepwear and got into bed. Luckily, sleep came semi-easily to him. He had a few thoughts that flustered him, but for the most part, sleep came easy. His dreams, however, got extremely flustering for him. One of the dreams had him and America on his bed, cuddling. In the dream, America had made the exact noise he'd heard from earlier, then said, "I love you." The noise had sounded adorable, both in the dream and out. In the same dream, America had pulled him into a kiss and then gone to relaxing. The next dream had gone a different route. He and America were in a compromising position where he had America pushed up against the headboard of his bed. The sun was down and the moon was lighting the room. America had his arms wrapped around him and pulled him closer. He'd leaned in closer, and America had wrapped his legs around the other's waist. They had kissed in the dream, and it had kept going, becoming more than just a kiss or two. He woke up from the second dream with a red face. He checked the time, finding it was really early. He got out of bed and looked in the mirror. His face was flushed. It was the second dream that had got him like this. He snuck out of his room quietly and made his way to one of the showers. He locked the door and then undressed. He turned on the cold water and stepped in. He stayed into the shower until he calmed down the massive amount of blush on his face. Then he turned the shower off and grabbed a towel. He dried himself off and tried not to think of the dream that brought him in there. He'd write what it was down and hoped that it wouldn't send him back to the shower to calm down. He got back into the pajamas that he had worn into bed and the ones that he came wearing. He walked back to his room and went in, deciding he'd use a journal his dad had given him a while back. Maybe journaling the dreams would help him resolve it. He took it out, opening the leather cover. He smiled a little and flipped to the first page. Taking out his quill and inkwell, he started writing. He wrote about the first one, the one he honestly wouldn't mind experiencing in reality instead of just a dream. As he suspected, the second dream had caused him to need another cold shower. The dream would have been flustering if it'd been anyone else, but America being the one in the dream was something that made it more so. After writing it all down, he went to take another cold shower. He came back out after it and went back to his room after redressing. He tried to go back to sleep, but found himself unable. After a while of not being able to sleep, he got up and decided that maybe a walk around the palace would help. He walked downstairs and then started to walk around the castle, finding it relaxing. Eventually, he decided to walk outside. As he walked, he eventually came across America, who was tending to some morning glories that were also known as moonflowers. He paused for a moment, debating on if he should approach him and talk to him. He decided to approach him and just stay quiet. If America wanted to talk to him, then he'd respond. "Hello?" America called out, looking around. He spotted Russia and went from slightly worried to calmer, with a small smile. Russia waved a little and took a seat on the ground next to America. "So, what are you doing up this late? Want to talk about it?" America asked softly as he went back to tending to the flowers. "I'd prefer not to talk about the specifics," Russia started, remembering a little of the dreams before he spoke again. "But I am unable to go back to sleep." America nodded softly and gently hugged him. America patted his back before he pulled away and went back to tending to the flowers. "Well, I'd offer to let you come with me, but I'm going to be heading back to my barracks and start writing to a friend of mine," America said with a nervous laugh. "I can just continue to wander," Russia responded, not wanting to intrude upon America's personal space. America shook his head. "No, how about you come with me? As long as you aren't allergic to cats, that, or I can just walk you back to your room." Russia dwelled on his options for a moment. "I'll just go back to my room. I don't want to intrude on your space," he settled on. America nodded a little and smiled at Russia, walking back into the castle with him. Russia led the way for the most part, heading to his room. America followed him and waved once he was there. Russia watched as the other disappeared into the hall, likely going back to his own room. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow.